play Oliver Queen, and you're riding this fine line between, being this raging homicidal type person and this. It's basically, how do you find the balance between this collected chaos?
I trust the guys that are running the show. I think being a good guy, straight, wholesome good guy, it's not necessarily interesting.
Right.
Just being a totally unredeemable villain isn't particularly interesting either. Although it's more interesting to me because I have a fetish for villains. I love villains. But you want to straddle the line. You want people to.
But what's your inspiration for that? To find that balance between the two.
Not really a character. Although it's funny, the character that I played on Vampire Diaries, Brady the werewolf. If it had been called the Werewolf Diaries, he would have been the hero because he was just fiercely protective of his kind, and Oliver is nothing if not driven. So as long as you're producing a reaction, be it positive or negative, it's a reaction. It's when there's indifference that there's a problem.
Go ahead, sorry. I'm sorry. Speaking of the Vampire Diaries, I was a big fan of you on that show.
Thank
you. You're welcome. And I'm just wondering, I know they give you a hard time. I know Julie Pleck tweeted you when all the big signs were out when they were promoting the show and saying, you had your shirt off and they were teasing you and you put your shirt on, Steven. And how's their reaction been to your success?
Oh, with those guys?
Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful. My cousin Robbie, when I booked Arrow, he had the funniest reaction. He goes, "Oh, this is so good for me."
Our boy.
And right now he is the lead in the Warner Brothers, CW, Greg Berlanti, Julie Pleck pilot, The Tomorrow People,
which is going to do very well.
Playing a character named Steven. With a PH. So,
how does it feel to be immortalized in a video game now that you have a skin in Injustice?
So my buddy Nick gets in touch with me and is like, they're doing this game, Injustice, and you should see if you can voice Green Arrow. So I emailed Jeff Johns right away and I said, can I? Who's voicing Green Arrow? Can I? And he goes, do you want to? I said, yes. Of course, and that's pretty rad. I give him all the credit. I took Nick out for a big dinner, with the video game check. So it was it's really exciting. And I didn't know that they were going to actually create the skin, but it's pretty cool.
You're very open with your fans in terms of interacting with them on Facebook and Twitter. What has that reaction been like?
It's really cool. I'm running my Facebook page the same way that I ran it when there were 200 likes on it, and now we're up close to 100,000. And it's a process, and it's a learning process too. Because when I say stuff, I'm beginning to learn that it's news. If I just do a quick video answering fan questions on Facebook, then I see it on television the next day,
or Twitter, or Tumblr,
wherever. Or it was like, I woke up early on, what was it? Thursday. I think it was like Thursday morning or Wednesday morning. I had the day off, and I just wrote a quick thing about marriage equality. And I didn't mean it to be political or anything like that, but all of a sudden it was on the Huffington Post. Arrow star speaks out on marriage equality. What the hell is going on? But I don't begrudge or I'm not going to judge an actor in this day and age who doesn't interact with their fans that way. But I mean, it's so easy and simple, and I think that people should. When we got picked up for the back 9 episodes, and I prematurely tweeted that because I didn't know that it wasn't public information. There's an article the next day in, I think it was in Variety, like, this is how information should be disseminated nowadays. It should come from a verified Twitter account or a Facebook page, and I couldn't agree more. I apologize for doing that because it wasn't my place, but I think that, if and when that news comes in the future, if there's news about the show, it should come from me or Colin or Katie or Willa. Like, fans appreciate getting it from the actors in the show.
Speaking of
social media, why did you choose to address the 50 Shades of Grey on your
Oh my God.
Talk about that.
That made big news, didn't
That
it?
made huge news. That was lesson number 1, wasn't it? Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, I was at Focus Features and I had a meeting, and it wasn't specifically for 50 Shades of Grey, but that was one of the topics that we just covered, and just discussed it. There's not even a script, or there wasn't at the time, but that'd be a cool project.
Are you up for it? Would you do it?
A lot of people. Am I up to actually do it?
Yeah.
If I
I mean, it's pretty racy.
Sure, let's read the script though. Let's read the script to make sure that it's good. I mean, I did play a hooker on television, so it's not like it's not like sex scenes are. Not that Christian Grey is a hooker, but actually, I don't know. I don't know what he is. I haven't read the book, but it's not like doing sex scenes. I would be totally out of my depth, but that movie's going to have a lot of scrutiny around it because it's like, how are they going to get an R rating? Like, what are they going to do? Is the script going to be good? I mean, those are all things to consider.
How much have you saved on razors now that you get to have a 5 o'clock shadow?
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had to be clean shaven for episode 21 where we have our way back flashback. And that was the first time that I had taken a razor to my face in a very, very long time. So I saved the time.
So one of my favorite relationships is you and Felicity right now, and there's that great moment at the end of this week's episode with that hand. Is there something else there? Is that just a lot of subtext?
I'm a boy and she's a girl, and she's very, and she's very pretty and smart and capable, as we are finding out in upcoming episodes, where we get to dress her up again in episode 21. The reality of it is, she's, the one person right now of the opposite sex, as lovely as Diggle is, that I can be myself around. And there's obviously something that, that certainly makes her attractive to me, I think.
Something I really like is you essentially play 3 different characters. It's between Oliver on the Island, Oliver Queen, and Arrow. How do you kind of switch between them as you do each?
So Oliver on the Island just just slumps a little bit, and the most fun that I've had actually recently is, there's Oliver on the Island, there's the vigilante, and there's Oliver's persona that he puts on in the present day. But for our way back flashback, it's Oliver pre-Island, and he doesn't have a care in the world. Sleeps in. There's this great line where Susanna is talking to someone, and he says, "Is Oliver up yet?" And she's like, "It's not even noon. He's not up." So that's been really fun. But the wig really helps. That terrible hair that I have.
It's pretty horrible.
It really helps, because you just put it on, you just look at yourself in the mirror and you go, "Hey, here we go."
What can you tease for the rest of the season?
So we have our way back flashback, where we get to meet, a bunch of characters at a very different point in their life. John Barrowman, Jamie Sheridan is back. Colin Salmon is back as Walter. Flashback. Susanna is a doting mother and not a co-conspirator. And then we're building towards the critical incident on both the island in terms of fires and Yao Fei and all of that, and the present day, Starling City, in terms of the Glades and Oliver and Tommy and Oliver and Laurel and Oliver and everybody at this point.